make a vlog. There's just something that's been nagging my brain, like when you recognise a pattern, and you try and tell someone and they don't recognise it, and it's just scratching your brain. It's just there. You know what I mean? Has anyone been there? Has anyone like realised something no one else has mentioned before or not mentioned frequently? You're like, oh my god, I've just realised. And you try and tell someone, but they're just not interested. Like, it's not. It doesn't scratch an itch for them. Not specific to, but like theology and I don't know how to put it into words, but I guess it is theology, it's ideology, all that stuff. But it's principality as well. It's wisdom, words of wisdom or whatever. I grew up in a Church of England school, C of E, in obviously England. If anyone who knows me, or don't know me. But yeah, I grew up in a Church of England school in England. Obviously, it's a Catholic. I wouldn't say it's a diehard Catholic country, but we are Catholic in principle. And obviously, well, I mean, anyone who's grown up in that environment or close to it probably knows a thing or two about the religion, about the theology, the ethos of it all, which basically means like the teachings and the wisdoms and stuff. And it's basically a big book that has just got a lot of right answers. That's most religions, though, isn't it? Hold on, let me get past this. Yeah. Any religion, pretty much, the ones that aren't the superior ones, that claim to be superior or are told that they are superior just for existing or following specific religion, know that. Well, it's just not hard to see, is it? That religion is there for teachings. It's for passing. It's for passing on ideas, innit? Really. Stipulating that these work more than others. Really, that's what it's about, isn't it? Religion. And just another fag. I'll quickly show you where I've sat. It's just at the side of the Trent. That's the Trent Port up that way. If I can zoom in. Yeah, Trent Port. And then you've got whatever this is, like a descending platform. I don't even know. I don't know what you call this, but I tell you what, it's cushy. It's cushy enough to sit on. So let's carry. Right. Yeah, carry on. So for anyone with half a brain knows that religion, it's not perfect, is it? By any means, no religion. And I'm not here to even advocate that one's better than the other. Hey up, yo. And sorry, I just bumped into someone. I'm not here to advocate one's better than the other, but some of the things that you get told about in Christianity, like God's within us all, and that's a principality. That's a teaching, isn't it? It's something that won't let go. Well, putting everything together. I'm going to pause this in a minute because there's a family walking by. But so yeah, God, you know, apparently created us, but also lives within us. So if that's true, then he put a little piece of himself within us. Then that's right, then, isn't it? That'd be that situation done. But if you think about it from a skeptic or a cynical kind of logical frame of mind, the logic could say, like, Occam's razor, if you're going to make that argument, that someone realised something, tried to say something, and it didn't work, so he made a story, made something believable, you know, palatable. We all know that saying, that it's easier to convince someone of a lie than it is to convince them of the truth. But that being said, what is an element of truth in it, because everyone knows what the solution is to their problem. Like my problems, I know what's the best solution to my problems. I haven't had the time or the space for my brain to figure it out. But how does your brain figure it out, though? That's weird. That's the bit in it, isn't it? It's like, do you know, we're all carbon copies of each other. Like, if you've got kids, look at your kids. You'll see yourself in them. You'll see aspects of your personality and traits in them. And if you think about it, you pass on like information sort of thing. Like, I don't know how it works, DNA or whatever, but you pass things on, hereditary, things, impulses and wants and desires and stuff, and like feelings are passed on. Someone had a grand idea to be like, yeah, this is what I want to pass on, and this is how I'm going to do it. But they kind of misinterpreted it, is what I'm getting at. Because I think, I honestly, I can't get it out of my head. That most religions that are all similar, they all correlate. They all talk about the same sort of thing, don't they? I mean, you get like one that says you'll come back as this, and one that's like, yeah. But underlying messages are all the same, aren't they? Really, you know, for the most part, not for your extremist religions, but what if it's all wrong? Well, not all wrong, but misinterpreted. What if God is in us, and you just got to listen to yourself over anyone else, over anyone, to know what's best for you? And then they say teachings as we're gonna have a walk. To most people, like, you can't really be blamed for thinking or whatever, like chopping up to just like what's the word? Like ideas or whatever, or like fantasy or whatever. But I mean, one of the teachings in it is, or whatever, is that we are all capable of sin. And obviously sin is a generic, blanket statement for specific malevolence. So, well, not malevolence maybe, but wrongdoing or whatever, but we're all capable of it, and if you think you're not, then, like, who are you? Do you know what I mean? So there's another aspect of it that's just, you can't argue. The only bit you can argue is if there's a deity up there that actually created us. And I think that's the bit that's misinterpreted or misconstrued. I think we've all got the answers inside of us, and we've all got the potential to cause sin or harm or whatever to other people, to inflict it, not even intentionally. Most people have grown up and learnt a lesson or whatever, that have done something and they didn't realise what it was, this, and they've had to apologise and rectify and whatever, this and that. But that's what the Bible, that's what it tells you about. You're capable of that. If you'd have listened to that, you'd have understood that was coming, and to prepare for it. So it's a book of teachings. And again, like I say, some people chop it up to like, oh well, it's just biblical babble or whatever, this and that. But the element of truth in it you can't ignore, and that's what's nagging at my head. Because when I've got a problem, or let's say a potential occurrence, I sit and think. I just basically wait for the answer to come to me, and in time it does. It just pops in your head where it's like, this has gone on before somewhere or something, like your ancestral teachings or something. I think it's fair to mention, because one of the relevant topics of today is like abortion or whatever, and X, Y, and Z. And the initial advocates for that knew that there was potential for it to be abused or to be misused, and that you were to be people speaking about it like as if it was predictable or inevitable. Obviously that's dissipated these days. Most people these days, it's freedom of body, freedom of choice or whatever. But I mean, for anyone who agrees with that freedom of choice thing, have you actually thought about it? What's about the choice of your fella? About the choice of your partner? Not the crackhead that gives you cocaine on a weekend bend. Your partner that might actually want that baby. But that's not the point I was trying to raise. Have you ever gone to a person who's been through it or multiple, because that's how you collect data. That's how you collect a fair assessment on things, isn't it? You ask multiple people. These people who claim that are in the freedom of choice argument, have you ever asked those people what it's like after? Because I bet you have, and I bet you already know. It's traumatic, isn't it? For those that have a soul, with a clean conscience growing up, yeah, have you asked them how they felt about it? Because I have. I've done the digging. And it's shit. From what I've heard, it's fucking horrible. From what I've heard, obviously I'm a man, I don't do that. Or whatever, you know what I'm getting at. But from what I've heard, women that have been through it, most of them, obviously I haven't spoke to them all, so shut up with your comments, but most of them would say that they would not advocate for any person to go through that experience if it wasn't necessary. Full stop. So you young'uns that are all throwing it about in your 20s, 19, 20s, 18, whatever, getting up to hundreds and hundreds of numbers, potentially risking pregnancy, yeah? Do you have a valid opinion on it? Or, I don't know, but, I mean, there's another thing where religion tells you, that religion anyway, specifically, that is a bad thing and you shouldn't do it. Your head is the worst prison you could ever be in. If you was a prisoner in your own head, that'd be worse than anything else, because you can't get out. So, to me, the book says, right, I've got a proposition for you. I can't show you how it'll feel unless you go through it, but I'm going to warn you that if you do this, if you do that, if you do this sin, you're going to end up with a filthy, dirty conscience. And then later in life, if you don't rectify it and repent, and because it's not just speaking, repenting, it's going out and fixing the things that you've done. So if you actually go out and repent, you'll have good karma. But if you don't, you'll end up with a filthy conscience and a prisoner in your own mind. And do you know what? I can attest to that, because if anyone ever used to watch those old London crime, what would you call them? They're not oligarchies, are they? What are they? Your crime lords or whatever. You know, who used to watch the documentaries of them? Them old dudes at 70 years old that come out, they survived it. One of the 60, 70, whatever, all the friends that went into that kind of occupation, and the only one who made it. And they gave accounts. You never go after an innocent person, because you cannot justify it in your own head. You end up with a filthy conscience. You cannot go on and do harm to someone without it coming back on you. So, I mean, again, it's just one of them Christians got right, apparently, you know. And I mean, it is a lot of time that's gone into that book. I just think it's I think with everything going on, I think we've had the little experiment now, haven't we? I think it's about time that we look at this experiment that we've run. You know, like the multiculturalism experiment that we all didn't sign up to do. I think it's time that we look at it as an objective reality now, and look at what people have done with that freedom to do whatever they please. I mean, like, you can't even walk around these days without bumping into someone who's just neck to toe in tattoos. And like that little saying goes, they're free to do what they want. Yeah, now you got kids and that having tattoos, and well, I mean, you had that anyway, didn't you? Really, but it's just part of it, you know. Like another example where we're given something with the potential to cause harm, and we absolutely abuse the fuck out of it, and ruin our own spiritual journey, is what it is, because we're all on a spiritual journey. And if you don't think you are, you're going to end up locked in your own prison with all these doors that you need to boot down and what's the word? Stand up to, or whatever, confront. Yeah, they're versions of yourself. You know, preach, because it's all dismissible until you need God, so to speak. Well, I think God lives all within us, and I think if you listen, you'll figure it out. But that's for people's problems these days, isn't it? Everybody knows what's what. Too many chiefs, not enough chefs. I don't know, whatever the saying is. Too many people with too much of an opinion, not too much wisdom. Right. Leave that one here for today. Something to think about though.